Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Fertilizer, and today I'm here to be presenting my Predaplant deck profile. I finally got the deck completed. I had to test it today during my club activities as well as school and whatever. It's not bad. I had to change a little bit of alterations to make this deck a little more fitting, and then I probably might do an update just a little bit, but then the better update for this will be when the new support comes out, which is the quick play spell and the two more Predaplant monsters as well as the other fusion, because they were not here in the fusion and fortress set. So you can just wait for a while. Until then, you can just do whatever you want with this deck. So buy the deck's pretty good. So without further ado, let's get straight to the deck profile. Okay, so for starters, obviously to get it off, we just play 3 Longfires. Longfire Blossom tributes any plant type and specials a plant monster. Obviously, people just summon him, tribute itself, special, anything. You can always do the summon special this, do this anything over and over, but I sometimes rather just keep one and just search for any of my Pred monsters just to get the shit over with. Alright, next up, I play 3 of the, I apologize if I don't know these names wrong, Cerocianity, I don't know. Yeah, actually, these names are weird. Yeah, but anyway, basically, it has a good effect resolving that whenever your opponent attacks you directly, you special this card, and then the monster that battled this card basically gets destroyed. And then if this card leaves the field by destroyed by battle, one is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add any Predaplant card from your deck to your hand other than itself. So you can help search, and I do play, and it's a 1-for-1 target, so yeah, spoiler, of course. Next, I played 2 Fly Traps. Fly Traps is that you can just place a pair counter on one monster, then if this card battles that monster, just get equips it, but you just want to put a counter on it, that's it. I really go for these cards. There's only like a few cards you want to go ahead and use up, like this one, the main one. You have to play 3 of the, we're just going to call him Lizard. And what basically Lizard is ultimate confusion for monsters that are on your field, in your hand, or on your opponent's side of the field that has a Predator counter on it. That way, if you fuse and then go for any dark type monster you want to go for, it's simple as that. It's freaking, yeah, any dark type monster. Next, we play double Squid. This card basically has 2 effects. One, that you play in there, send that from your hand to the grave, have a monster destroy all monsters with Predator counters on it. But this one is also better. It's like when it's on the field, when it leaves the field to the grave, you get to place a Predator counter on every special summon monster your opponent has. And then if you have another one in your hand, you can just use the effect and just attack, do whatever. Kind of sucks. The only downside is that I wish these cards had the better effect when it's ever sent to the grave. But because it has to be like most of their effects resolve on the field instead of their hand, it's a pain in the ass. So can't do it. Played the Guaiba of the deck, Spadonia. When it's normal special, you get to place a prayer counter on your opponent monster, and then whenever it battles, not destroy anything, when it battles, even if this card dies, you may take damage. When it battles, you get special Predator monster on your field, from your deck to your field, other than itself. So use this to go ahead and go off for this card mostly, or you can go for this or something else, something good to go for fusion. If you have poly, you're poly. If not, then go for the Lizard. And then finally, the kaiju of the deck is double Hydra. I'm just going to go Hydra. Basically, you just special summon this card by attributing a monster with a Predaplant counter on it, and then you just special in. Yeah, so that's all it does. If this card didn't have the 2300 defense, if it was a 2300 attack, I actually think this card would have been way more better. Just a high attack, and you just attack your opponent, and then this graveyard effect's barely usable. Basically, it's just you can just ban a plant monster from your graveyard, and then field or graveyard, banish it, and then you get to target a monster in the field and lose the 5 attack defense. I don't know, it's dumb. All you do is want to use this is just kaiju your opponent's annoying monsters, and that's it. That's all you gotta do. And then rounds up for the monsters. For spells, triple fusion recycling plant. So happy got ultras, and this card's so fucking stupid as hell. Obviously, for every fusion deck out there that does play the polymerization or does do the fusion place works, all I know people don't know what it is, which is this fact this card is ridiculous. Discard a card, add a polymerization from your graveyard or your deck to your hand, and then during the end phase, once per turn, you can basically return one of the fusion materials they use for a fusion summon from your graveyard to your hand. So if you basically don't need to use poly all the time, so if you contact fuse, like saying with the lizard, and then you use it with a card, you just bring in the lizard back or whatever. And yeah, another thing is that this card, when it releases, field from card effect. So same thing with, because it was a fusion, so it's pretty decent. This card is so fucking annoying. I love to troll people with this. The old Terraforming, you gotta play 2 of these. I was playing 1, but then like I thought because 3 can help me faster, but it's not. So I just played 2, and if you have extra copies or whatever, just discard them with the recycling plant effect or whatever. 2 alert. I'm fine with alert. You just don't want to like go ahead and just lose up your best cards. I mean, you could play 3. I only have 2 extras as of these 2 because I do play 3 of them in my other deck. But the thing is, I prefer 2. I mean, like I said, I just don't want to bench my best cards or whatever. So doesn't matter. 2 polymerization. I really wish it was like the newer one with the or anime one. I hate this ugly look. But yeah, 2 polys do the same shit, whatever. He was really hating this card a lot. Alright, so I know. Alright, and I played 2 Predatonics. Now a lot of people will be thinking, why aren't you playing 3? Now, I have nothing wrong with that. 3 is fine. But there are times, you know, the one downside with this card is yes, it's a miracle fertilizer, especially from the hand or field. I mean, hand or graveyard, which is awesome. Level 4 lower. I mean, I understand the restriction for that, but the only downside to that is that their effects are negated. And with this effect, I can't use this guy. Or I can't use this guy. So, what's the point of that? So, honestly, I don't know if you saw that, but honestly, I really don't want to see play 3. Plus, I mean, it's okay. So, I'm fine with it. Plus, you can just search it, so it doesn't matter if you can't add to your hand. Next, I play 3 of the Pruning. It's basically a premature burial. Just special Predaplant. There's no cost for this. The card's amazing. And then, so, I do play the 1 Miracle Fertilizer. I do want space for 2, but I don't know. But anyway, I think 1's going to be fine for now. Because, like I said, the spell card, fucking name. The Predaplant, whatever. It's not sometimes great. Sometimes, and plus, even if you special from the hand, it's not a big deal. Plus, with this, you can go ahead and get your resolves and bring back your plants. And even if it doesn't cost, even if it costs me a normal sum, it doesn't matter. I could just use this. I could use this. I could use this. So I don't think it's the end of the world. All right. I play 1 Refusion. This card's pretty decent. It's also a premature miracle. I went for fusions. Basically, just gets out my best monsters. And then if this card is destroyed, my card leaves. It gets removed from play, which kind of sucks. 1 for 1. Obviously, only target in the deck, like I said earlier, it's just this dude. And then I play 1 Twin Twister. After chesting, I realized Vanities fucks me over a lot. So yeah. So I'd rather just, this is the outs of Vanities. I mean, if I had another one, I'd probably cut something else. And that's it for the spells and for the traps. I play 1 Predaplant. I was playing 2. 2 is not bad, but then 1 really is just, you just need 1. Period. You just barely go for this. Because the problem with this deck is that it's hard to get the counters on your opponent, because then you have to use their effects, whatever. So it's a little tricky with this deck how you work it. And then if it's in the graveyard, you can just banish this card and then just go ahead and fuse the cards that requires only the Predaplant monsters as the fusion materials to fusion summon. Whatever you want, just as long as you use the materials. And then 3 Polynus. This is basically the Judgement of the deck. All you do is tribute a plant monster, and then you get to negate a spell, trap activation, or a normal special summon. So that's that, and that's it for the main deck. For the extra deck, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and start with the smalls. The smalls. So let's start off with Danklaw. Obviously, people are not surprised. So Danklaw, I'm like, where's your match change to? After testing, because I did try it, it's not bad, but then you realize it's not really consistent for a main deck card. So you want to say, so you could leave this in the extra deck, so you get space. but you want to side deck the Match Change 2s. That way, you can go ahead and just flop over your opponents for, like, if they have like a stupid graveyard effect or searching or whatever. So deck fall is your best one. Next, I play triple Chimera. This card is so fucking amazing. This doesn't even have to resolve, which is a Predaplant card. So all it does is basically, if it has a level, if your opponent has a monster that's the same level or less than this card, basically you just banish it. That's it. And then just when it battles, it gains 1,000. Your opponent monster loses 1,000. And then when this card is in the graveyard during your standby phase, the turn it was sent there before, you can go ahead and add any polymerization or fusion card from your deck to your hand. And here's the fun part: it doesn't say that diffusion wave motion stuff. It's funny, so you can actually add it. And then we've talked about it. It's a little hilarious. I mean, you don't have to. It's a little joke, but yeah. Sorry. Okay, and next one is 2 Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. After testing, I think I'm going to play one more because this card is legit hilarious. The only downside is that this card has to be destroyed for this graveyard effect. I mean, you know, so that I can get rid of it, the special summon monsters, but other than that, I think it's alright, but I just need one more, just in case. You never know. And then, obviously, I play 1 Greedy Venom Fusion Dragon. Now, I only play 1 because all you do need is mostly to fuse. It's just a Predaplant monster and technically a level 8, which is this guy. And then the best part is, you know, because you want to negate an attack, make an attack 0, negate an effect, and then if this card dies, you can destroy all monsters in the field. Then you can, after that, you can go ahead and banish the level 8 monster, which is mostly this, and then you go ahead, special this dude, and then boom, you can go ahead and attack for a 3,300 straight attack. So that's why, and if that's why I might need a third, so that way if I have this in my graveyard a lot, I can just bring this card back over and over. And so, yeah, and then I just play some Exes just in case for rank 4. I mean, you can play a rank 2 because the deck does consist of rank 2s mostly. I mean, you got a Castel, you got this, you got that. I mean, I really don't need these much. I mean, I could just cut them off anyway. I mean, I thought they were going to be useful, but yeah, that's the deck profile, everyone. I really hope you actually enjoy this. I really am a huge fan of this deck. Ever since Yuri was playing this and then they announced it, this deck is actually the best one. Played by the best of the 4 in the Arc V series. Technically, Yuri actually is my only favorite character because of this deck. Especially with his own main monster being a 2000 instead of 25. We broke laws. So I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Give this video a like. Comment what you really think about it. I mean, I understand some people have some questions, but it's fine. I'm willing to answer. Share this to your friends. Subscribe if you're new. Like my Facebook page. And this is Fort Striker, signing off.